Oh, yeah. It's that Thursday feeling. My dogs are behind me getting mad at each other.
Yeah, they're fighting.
Just straight up fighting.
That's fine.
Getting mad at each other.
Just a little dog fight.
They're just little dog fights.
That'll get you on the cover of Madden.
This week's episode is, of course, sponsored by the ASPCA. Please go to your local shelter now. Adopt. Don't get from a breeder. Just adopt. Don't shop. Don't do that. Mike Vick, come on late lunch. Tell us how you've rehabilitated yourself.
He seems fine now.
He seems fine now. He's like a coach now. You know, he's coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for him.
Good for him.
Good for him. Yeah, I think we've talked about this before at some point. I can't remember if it was on a podcast, but I knew that I turned the corner on Mike Vick when the worst people in sports hadn't let it go yet. And yeah. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Like the people that I think of as racists just most of the time are the ones that are still really mad about
is the thing he did unbelievably terrible.
Unforgivable, almost. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, but
also, I mean,
he did the time.
I mean, and like,
it
wasn't kids. It wasn't people. He didn't kill a guy, you know? Like, I love dogs, but like, gang, come on.
Well, okay. So what if he had a kid fighting ring?
Different. That's entertainment.
Different. That's entertainment, ain't it? God, you think in a world where they kept making bum fights, we would have eventually got kid fights?
The kids? Yeah, absolutely.
Grim. Absolutely. Hey, it's VGB's. Hey, guys, please calm down. Oli, I caught him, like, I'm sorry, listener. I did catch him just straight up, like, humping her face the other day.
That's crazy.
Like, she was just kind of in bed.
Yeah.
And he was just like,
just going. That's crazy.
And I was like,
dogs
dude,
so
like
weird.
You can't do. They're so gross. They're so gross. They're disgusting.
My friends fostered. It was like a week-long foster. Mm-hmm. This dog from Angel City Pits. Angel City Pit Bulls, one of those. It's called something like that. Mm-hmm. And all they do is pit bulls and pit mixes. Mm-hmm. So I've learned a lot about those dogs, which is to say they're stupid and so nice.
They're so
they don't know shit, and they just want to hug you, and that's all they got.
They're just stupid, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. And they got this one, and we were sitting on the couch, and the dog was like pretty sleepy, and then was like snotting everywhere because the dog had a cold.
Oh.
And then rolled over. I was like, what's that lump on the stomach? So I like touched tummy, like pretty warmer than normal dog tummy.
Oh no.
And then I grab a thing that I'm like, that's a dog. I'm like, in this dog it has to be a dog.
Oh.
And I was like, hey, did they tell you if this dog was pregnant?
Yeah.
And my friend goes, no. And I'm like,
muzzle dog.
Because I think I don't know anything about dog.
Yeah.
But I think this dog pregnant.
Yeah.
And then they rolled the dog over to look at the dog tummy, and they were like, well, that's weird. The thing that's confusing is that there's only one. They're yelling. The girls are fighting.
Hey, guys, really, cut it out. Oli, stop. Okay, sorry.
The thing that has thrown me is that there are only like 2 lumps, what I'm assuming are baby dog lumps in there. And I feel like dog have more than that. Usually when they have dog. More than 2 dog come out.
Sometimes it's only 2.
Sometime it only 2. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I think the dog pregnant, but we'll never know because they returned the dog this week because they only needed to watch the dog for a week.
Yeah.
So
gotta be
no way to know.
It'd be fun to have a dog in house with like having puppies, knowing that it would not necessarily be my responsibility.
Be your problem. But then you would have to shepherd the birth of the child.
Yeah, which is a lot. That is a lot. That's a lot. Shepherd
which
birthing
I
child
can't
is a lot.
could not possibly be involved with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
on the list of things that I would do, like witnessing the birth of a human child's pretty low down on there. Beautiful, sure. But I'm facing the person giving birth and my back is to everybody else.
Is it beautiful?
Else. That's what Squarespace says.
I've seen it. I don't think it's beautiful. I think it's the concept of bringing a life into the world is beautiful.
Sure, that's beautiful.
But if you're telling me that is beautiful, then folks, I'm good. I'm good with whatever. Like I'm going to exit the world. It's fine.
I feel like are there white people on this planet, John, who make their dogs have water births?
With like a
probably
midwife,
right? Yeah, probably right.
Probably, yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, it's
imagine nuts. Being that dog.
Yeah,
it's time to do the worst thing I've ever done, and then they're like, "Get in the tub, honey.
Get in the tub." You know what? Classically, a place where most dogs just love to be. And it's like, all right, Bella, time to have your water birth after you ate your vegan dinner.
Imagine making your dog vegan.
Yeah, I've seen that. Not with anyone I know well.
For dogs.
Well, there kind of is.
But they don't have any rights, do they?
If there's actual abuse happening, yes, obviously. But
I think we need like a maybe a softer, like a second tier of CPS where it's like the vibes are rancid.
The vibes are rancid. Yeah.
We got to get this dog out.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Well, thank you for listening to the dog childbirth segment. Video game podcast.
Yeah, VGB's episode 56. I said that at the top, but didn't say anything else. I'm John Warren, one of your hosts. With me is my forever co-host, Nikki Grayson. You can go to vgbs.com/join and join the hive. We've been around for a year. It can be free.
Part of it's free, but we would honestly prefer if it wasn't free for you. Does that make sense? Like in a gentle way.
I'm never gonna flip the switch. I'm not gonna flip the switch. I'm not going to.
You could,
but I want to, and I could. All this stuff would just be behind. What if it was just a beautiful paywall? What if it was just $1? See, but I still think that's a barrier. I think people would be like,
"It is." Yeah. Listen, we would prefer it if it wasn't free for you. We would think better and more highly of you if it wasn't free for you, which isn't to say that we think lower of the people for whom it is not free, but we do just think more of the people for whom pay. You know, that's
true. That's true. I value the people who pay for this more than the people who don't. So if you're in our YouTube comments, if you're in our Discord and you don't pay, know that I think less of you than I do.
So that's explicitly what I was saying. We didn't think.
Yeah, but I feel like we should have discussed it before, because I don't know if I'm on the same page. Like we're on the same page about a lot of stuff. We're on the same page about Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Mario Kart, we're on the same page about these things. But I think less of the people who aren't paying,
That's real.
What's your deal?
Real.
What's your deal? What are you paying for? What are you paying for instead? New York Times?
Yeah, if you have a Time subscription instead of this, that is fucking up.
Yeah.
If you're paying even for the New York Times games thing instead of this, mistake. Switch that over.
If you're paying for it, I'm so sorry. You're paying for IGN Premium.
Wow. True.
I think
Michael Hyam. I love the idea that Michael Hyam is paying for IGN Premium.
Yeah, I do too. Also, I can't even say what I was going to think, but you know what, Michael Hyam, we do love you. We love you. And,
I'm like, do you think? Oh, well, it's gone.
Paying for IGN Premium.
Oh yeah, if you're paying, don't listen. Did you know that I get Puzzmo for free?
Oh,
through the library.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
I didn't either until last week.
Oh, that's
neat. This week. So now I have Puzzmo.
Cool.
through the library.
Puzzmo's
You
great.
probably also have Puzzmo.
I probably also have Puzzmo.
If you have the library, the better crossword's better anyway.
It's
There's no
true.
dumb shit on the crossword. You do the crossword and you're like, wow, I feel so smart. And then you don't have to know about the Bay of fucking Pigs or whatever. Who cares?
If it was in We Didn't Start the Fire, we don't fucking care about it. like New York Times and Billy Joel, we don't
Metroid, care. George Floyd.
Yeah. Only
OKC and Sis.
It's only the Fall Out Boy version of We Didn't Start the Fire that we care about those events.
Yeah.
Yeah. Video games, sure. I don't know. Andrew Wilson, thanks Steven Totillo for putting together such a comprehensive piece on the compensation of one EA CEO, Andrew Wilson, who received $30.5 million in cash and stock, ending their fiscal year March 31st, 2025. That was nearly $5 million up from the year before, even though most their games were down during that time, including FC 25 was down, as well as, of course, Dragon Age, the Veil Guard. The really crucial part of this is that not only is Andrew Wilson's pay up, but the median worker pay at EA is down. This is crazy. From $149,000 from last year to $117,000 this past year, which is kind of a staggering drop in terms of that. Now, Totillo points out that the way EA is calculating and displaying their median averages are a little strange, and so it's a little hard to wrap your head around it. But it is still what they're saying is their median pay is 117, down from 149, which is a pretty big drop.
Yeah, when you let those people go who make more money, then number go down.
Those people go.
No, yeah, they don't work there anymore.
Yeah.
Number go down. They also don't make video game anymore.
They don't really make video game anymore. Isn't that weird?
You can get a bunch of children to work for your company for 3 years before you let them all go to replace them with another crop of children. You only have to pay them $100,000. And then you just fire them in 3 years before they can get a promotion. Cyclical.
I
just don't. What do you do when you make that much money every year?
Like, what do you mean? It's just like, what do you do with your life?
Yeah.
You probably invest the lion's share of it, because, like, obviously if you just put, like, if you're me, you could just put $100K aside and live on it very comfortably, and then the rest of it can just work for you. And so then in a year it'll be worth, like, 40 million or whatever instead of 30 million. I mean, so that's what you do. And then
does he have kids?
Andrew Wilson. Now we can't. It's not Owen Wilson's brother.
He has 2 children.
Okay.
Two kids. Yeah, 2 children. But they have to suck, right?
The kids
have to be terrible.
I don't know. I mean,
John, you can call a multi-millionaire who is actively destroying the industry that you love and care about. You can call his kids shitty. It's okay. They're not gonna come get you. His kids have to suck.
Yes, so it's a daughter and a son. And they live in Atherton, which is
so they absolutely fucking
they probably
suck.
Okay.
They absolutely suck. Yes.
Yeah.
In 2022, Wilson, along with several other Silicon Valley executives, opposed a proposal to allow more than one home on a single acre in the city that he lives in.
Mm-hmm. He opposed a proposal to allow more than one home. The summer, so this, speaking of the New York Times, this was from an article called The Summer of NIMBY in Silicon Valley's poshest town.
The summer of?
The summer of NIMBY.
Singular?
Yes, yeah, singular. The only time it's ever happened. God.
Yeah, no, I think everyone should go read the Totillo piece because he does a fun graphic that really hits harder when you're on the telephone.
It is
where
it is.
He plots out on a graph Andrew's salary and then the median salary at the bottom, and you have to scroll the gap between the two. The reason it takes forever.
The reason he does that is that when you squish it in a normal looking graph, you can barely tell the difference between the median compensation because it's basically a flat line because those amounts are so far away from what Andrew Wilson's being paid. So he created this additional graphic that is like, super, super, super huge, which is very funny to me.
Great.
Yeah, there are, it's not so simple. Like CEOs like Andrew Wilson don't get paid just like $30.5 million in cash. It's usually like a combination of cash and stock and incentive-based pay, like quote unquote bonuses. But they're judged, and like this is from one of the releases. They're judged by basically 7 tenets, which is attracting and retaining talent, keeping the business resilient, which is so easy to interpret in a million ways. Improvements in environmental sustainability, which is like literally just like green stuff.
What do they what do they
doing?
Make?
I don't know.
They don't make anything.
I mean, I wouldn't say that like Madden, like no, they don't get like Madden's the greenest video game ever made. We put real grass in this one.
Now hold on. Imagine
hold on.
if they were like, listen, every physical copy of Madden 26, is that the next one? Comes with some grass.
Someone comes with some grass.
You just open it and just some grass comes out.
Yeah, that's good.
That would rule.
I like it. That'd be pretty cool. Quote unquote, building games and experiences that entertain massive online communities. Okay. Create blockbuster interactive storytelling, harnessing the power of community in and around our games, and then artificial intelligence. So right. A combination of those things have gone well enough that Andrew Wilson was compensated $5 million more this fiscal year than he was last year. And once again, the median pay went down.
They could make so many video games on $35 million.
They could. They could
make so many video games.
They could.
That would make them more than $35 million.
100%. Yeah. 100%. Hey, speaking of like companies that totally know what they're doing, Jason Schreier reported earlier this week that major cuts are coming at Microsoft. That's across the board. A lot of sales people will apparently be targeted by this to the tune of maybe even 2,000 people being let go, which is absolutely absurd. But of course, the Xbox gaming division is also going to hit some cuts. And the latest rumors, based on a couple of reports that have come out today, is that they do believe that several studios may be on the chopping block as part of the cuts that are coming as soon as next week. Really don't have a whole lot of details aside from that, but this will be the third massive layoff that has affected Xbox games in the past like 18 months.
18 months. That sounds right.
And we talked about Phil and Xbox last week and how their strategy was just kind of like so unbelievably vague and kind of insulated from any sort of criticism because they can essentially just say anything as an Xbox and all this stuff. But it really is striking to me how Phil Spencer specifically has gone from being someone that I think people thought of as a visionary with a really strong idea and strategy and had big ambitions to like put Xbox on Nintendo consoles and do things that were really outside the box. And now I would pretty clearly argue he's been one of the worst executives in games for the past 5 years
For sure.
because
It's
of this
super.
stuff.
It's also super strange because it's like it is so rare for people to know the president of a subdivision of one of these companies.
Yes,
You know,
it is very rare.
so like you don't know who the fuck the guy in charge of Azure is.
No,
like you don't know
I have no idea who makes
charge.
Teams.
Yeah, like there's
Like
like
I just don't like, or Microsoft 365. Like I just have no idea. Yeah,
it seems like it's two things happening. One, I don't really know if he's particularly good at his job, but also it does a little bit seem like okay, you had your time to go play, and now your time to go play is over. And now you just are a business unit here at Microsoft. So,
and I think it speaks to the strategy that we've talked about, where it's like, yeah, their next things are basically just going to be Windows machines that more incorporate some of the stuff that we would be used to with these portable PCs like Steam OS, like with the Steam Deck and all that stuff. Like that is, I think, the next level of Microsoft. It's not going to be, I don't know how much they're really going to rely on first party games. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if we actually see a full reversal of all their studios, just essentially saying, now we're just going to go make money with everyone. We're essentially a third party, a vendor for not only the PC market, which is us, but also PlayStation, also Nintendo. Like it could be as easy as something like that, which is what kind of Sega did when the hardware business essentially evaporated from them. And it's not that Xbox's hardware business is dead. I just think it's going to get very closely folded into Microsoft PCs. Like I think that's just going to be how this goes. And I don't know what Phil Spencer's role in that is, because that feels very far away from his wheelhouse and kind of where he has historically shined. And now it feels like he's just very much a figurehead that's going, yep, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, this is the next thing we're doing. Okay, sure. And it's a very interesting reversal from a few years ago where it felt like he, whether this is true or not, felt like he had, a position in games that was fairly unique. I don't know.
Yeah, they did the messaging around him was really good. They announced the Xbox edition of the Meta Quest 3S.
Yes.
Which is the cheaper, worse version of the Meta 3
yep.
that you can do cloud gaming on. What? Like, who's going to buy that?
Who's going to buy that?
It comes with an Xbox controller is basically the only difference. Like it's black instead of white, and it comes with an Xbox controller. And this is the only difference. And 3 months of the Xbox Game Pass. Awesome.
Great.
You'll sell a bunch of those, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's odd. They're just turning into a company that a subdivision that I think has less and less of an identity, and we will see as early as next week how bad these layoffs are and how decimated these teams get. I'm super worried for teams like Arcane. I'm super worried for teams like Obsidian.
Is it 2,000 people across Microsoft or 2,000 people in the Xbox?
No,
umbrella?
It's 2,000 people across Microsoft is what I've read. And so a lot of it is in the sales division, I've read, and then, but they are worried that there are several studios that might be up for, either disintegration or just huge layoffs that would affect, their ability to make stuff going forward. So we just don't know what those are, or, what they're, what's going to be affected by that. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks. But yeah, it's been reported thousands of jobs. You've heard everything between 1,000 to 2,000. It might be more, but apparently largely in sales. So oof. Speaking of Windows 11 machines, Ars Technica reported on a Lenovo Legion Go S test between SteamOS and Windows 11 that showed pretty clearly that most of the benchmarking is better for SteamOS because games just run faster on that system, which is very fascinating.
It's Microsoft. They don't have any money.
They don't have any money,
and they don't. I mean, it's not. They've never kind of. Hold on. Let me just type in. Just gonna really quickly type
what do they
in
do?
Windows 8 on ARM and see if anything comes up. Let me see. Okay, so it says here it's called Windows RT. It says Windows RT is an operating system developed by Microsoft and released alongside Windows 8 on October 26, 2000. And it says, let me zoom in. Right here it says 2012, John. And then it says, let me scroll. It says they turned it off 4 years later. And then let me just go really quickly and see what is the processor inside of the Lenovo. What did you say?
It's the Legion Go S. That is the Steam OS powered, but they also have a Windows powered counterpart.
Okay, so that says, let's see, that says it's an AMD Ryzen Z2. Okay, hold on, let's see. AMD Ryzen Z2 architecture. Let me just see what that says. So, okay, let me scroll really fast. Let's see, it says it's ARM, John. Or x86. I guess it comes in different flavors.
Okay. Well,
okay. Well, good for them. Don't buy. Fucking buy a Steam. Go buy a Steam Deck. Who cares?
Go buy a Steam Deck. Don't go buy a Steam Deck. I'm not saying you should run out and buy a SteamOS powered Lenovo. Like, I don't know if that makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a little bit more sense to go buy a Steam Deck because you can hook that up to a monitor pretty easily. In fact, Jeff Gerstmann this week has talked about that a bit on, I believe, his show, but also online, and how he does his setup with that. I've done some of that too. I think it works pretty well with a Bluetooth controller hooked up to it. It's pretty easy. So that's what I would suggest more than getting one of these Lenovo's. But you know what? I don't know. Whatever. It's your money. I can't do anything.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Do whatever the fuck you want. But yeah, that report is over on Ars Technica. Kyle Orland, friend of the show, posted this yesterday on June 25th. So yeah, go check that out.
I mostly am just, the only reason I walked us down that really long path where the conclusion was I was wrong. But it was funny.
It was funny. No, I appreciate it.
Can't win them all. It's only because it's like they so frequently, they being Microsoft, have so frequently been like actually correct.
Sure.
And then they go,
what if we weren't?
Nah, we can't do it. If they had 14 years of development on ARM, right, then we would be having a completely different conversation about what these handheld devices looked like. Right. But instead they are getting beat by Linux.
They're being, but the Penguin is
the fucking you're losing to the Penguin.
Loses the Penguin. And it's not even the fucking 10-cent Penguin. It's like the other one.
It's the other one that no one, Linus's Penguin.
Linus Tech Tips Penguin.
I haven't had that man come across my computer in a long time. But YouTube is like, remember him? But it wasn't one of his videos. I guess he opened a badminton center.
Ooh, okay.
In British Columbia where he lives because he likes badminton.
Okay.
So he opened up a badminton center, and this video was from a badminton influencer, not a job. And they were like, wow, the floors in here are great. And I was like, this is nothing.
Goofy. Yeah.
Goofy. But good for them though. If we go up to British Columbia, if we go up to Surrey, BC, we can hit up a state of the art. What does that mean? Fucking state of the art badminton center? What the fuck are you talking about?
Fucking Robin Hood cartoon ass sport. Stupid. Dumb. Dumb. Way to go, Linus. Lionel
technical typos.
Lionel's technical typos. Hey, remember how we were talking about really recently how it's actually kind of cool if you go on Mario Kart and you're able to do a few races in a row that actually just do the courses instead of the transition, because they have this whole mode, which is knockout mode, which does those transitions, which feels really like good and fluid and it makes sense. But when you're doing Grand Prix, you kind of just want to run the courses themselves because they're designed to be these courses that kind of loop, which is really interesting. And there was a workaround to do this online that people were taking advantage of. And now Nintendo has patched that out. So on one hand, I want to say really funny, unbelievably funny really for funny. Nintendo to just be like, okay, y'all are trying to like have your own fun, make your own fun. No, I don't think so. You're doing this our way. In one sense, I deeply respect it. Really and funny. I need you to know that I do respect the developer vision. And if that's what they want, I understand it. And I'm like, okay. But it's not actually that often that I think they're just dead wrong about it. Yeah. And it's like, they're dead wrong. They're dead wrong about this. They made a choice that doesn't really make sense. Yes. And instead of like being in a position to be like, well, they figured out how to fix it. So if we do nothing, it's okay. It's okay. They said, what if we pointed the gun at ourselves? What if we forced the issue? What if we just now the gun is locked in a safe. They don't even know it's there, so it can't be Chekhov's gun. What if we pull it out of the safe and put it on the table? Yeah, it's weird. And it's just I just think they're dead wrong. It's one of those kind of rare instances of Nintendo making a design choice that I think is just like, it's the wrong choice. Like they just that's the wrong choice. They did something that is confusing and bad. And also, it just doesn't feel good. It is. No. I think the thing that I'm thinking about Mario, I've played a lot more of it. Especially I played more of it this past week. But like, there are so many confounding decisions in that game. There are a lot. And if you watch, Donkey put out a video of him just showing off the fact that it's there's just a 3D platformer in there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like is that fun? For sure. There's nothing to do when you do the 3D platforming. So it's like, yes, is it unbelievably sick that you can trick off of a wall, then trick off of a lamppost, and then jump on top of a Yoshi, and then wall ride into a grind, and that like all of that stuff is great. When you can't do that fun stuff with other people, because that's not how the open world works. The open world is not, when you're online, the open world is not conducive to that. They're like, please get out of here, go do a race. Go do race, yeah. And then when you are in the races, most people are never going to wall ride ever. They're going to get on the wall and go, what? And then by the time they've had that realization, they will be back on the ground and they'll move on with their life. Yeah. So I guess then what they are saying is that for people who are very good at this video game, there is a competent 3D platformer. And then there's nothing to do with that. Yeah. It's just like we lucked into this system of mechanics that, yes, when strung together, you are doing platforming. And then you get to the top of a building and then that's it. You made it to the top of the building. And not even in a way where in Super Mario Odyssey, when you get to the top of a building that you feel like you're not supposed to get up to, there's like coins and stuff up there. And you're like, oh, great. Like, and like, that's the acknowledgement, it's a wink, right? There's a little wink and they go, hey, you got up here. Here's 50 coins. Yeah, here's 50 coins. And like, that also happens here, I guess, but it's, again, it feels weirder. To what end? I'm playing Mario Kart, not a Super Mario game. And there are later moons in Odyssey that are essentially, once you basically beat the game and you go to the post-game stuff, there are some moons that essentially require you to be that good at that platforming. So like it is training you in this way to be like, okay, if you're basically a any percent player and you're getting through this, none of this is important to you. But if you're a sicko, we will reward you in a little bit now, but also later on when there are some moons that like you got to do this crazy shit. And in Mario Kart World, there's really none of that. It's just kind of
it's not even carrot and stick. It's just like,
no.
Did you know that there is grocery store? It's like, yeah, no, dog.
It is kind of stunning to me, and I think the feeling. I think what they, I guess. I can kind of get into their shoes maybe and think, okay, your instinct when you're in these carts is to always be moving. So there really isn't like a whole lot of time to stop and just look around and check waypoints. They just don't want you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like Odyssey or Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom where you can kind of like sit in a moment and look at your environment around you and go, oh, that's something fun I can do. And I bet there's a reward at the end of it. It might be intrinsic, but for the most part, it's probably something a little more extrinsic or it's guided, and if there was something guided and all it was a beautiful vista, I would be okay with that, but there's nothing. Yeah, there's really nothing like that. The open world stuff is pretty weak in terms of
the P block kind of missions are like there are all some variation on drive point A to point B, but there's stuff in your way.
Stuff in the way. Mm-hmm.
Go from point A to point B, but you have to collect blue coins. Mm-hmm. Go from point A to point B. And there's nothing in your way. You're just going from point A to point B, or you do a timed, unplaced race around what they call a tribute to an older course.
Which is crazy because again, they will populate the little area with other racers, but crucially, you are not competing against them. You were just going around the laps.
You're just trying to do the laps and get to the next circle before the time runs out. Mm-hmm. And if only there were any open world racing games before this one. And like, I the last thing I guess I'll say is that, and I think this is like the nugget that I've really been trying to crack. When Nintendo makes an open world, they want you to do the thing that you said, John, which is stop and look at it.
Yes.
When you make an open world racing game, you are not supposed to stop and look at it because you're going fast. Mm-hmm. You're going from point A to point B, and it has to blend together into something beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then when you do stop completely, then it has to be interesting. Mm-hmm. When you stop completely in this game, all of it falls away, and you're like, okay, there are 4 different vehicle types. They're all driven by the same Shy Guy or Koopa. There are 2 kinds of guy that walk around. It's a different color Yoshi or a different color Shy Guy.
Yep.
All of the buildings look the exact same.
Yeah.
Like when you're in particularly dense areas. And then you then drive to the courses themselves, and the courses are beautiful. Mm-hmm. And you're like, but why wouldn't I just be racing?
Why wouldn't I just be doing
Why wouldn't I just be on the courses instead of driving from point A to point B? So then when they made the decision to be like, actually go fuck yourself, we know you want to play online where you just do the courses and not drive between them in the explicitly boring part.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a misunderstanding of the game that you made.
They could have made something so interesting out of, because if you haven't played it, the open world is essentially, it feels insane to say this, it's essentially not a clear menu option. It is basically
they don't want you to do it.
Leaving the menu and a certain button combination gets you to the open world, but that's it. You don't select something that says, I just want to roam around. You're basically like leaving the main menu.
Plus. Mm-hmm. And it's in small text on the bottom right.
It's on the bottom right. And it's like they don't want you to do it. And there is a version of this game. And again, it's funny how we've talked about for the past few weeks, like Nintendo has games that they finish and they keep on the shelf. Like it's very clear that is true. But increasingly with Mario Kart World, I do believe that is true, but I do also now believe that at some point this was a different game with a more robust kind of like career mode that you could have in the open world that they have just stripped out. Like,
or
and it would have been interesting to like, okay, like, yes, there are missions like Forza, like Burnout Paradise, which is like Burnout Paradise. Again, there's discourse on this game actually today, which is very funny. I don't think Burnout Paradise is better than Burnout Takedown, which is that is essentially the exact same conversation we're having of Burnout Takedown, one of the most incredible focused racing arcade experiences I've ever played. Burnout Paradise, we're going to strip out actually a lot of the stuff that made that special and make it open world. And a lot of people have fondness for Burnout Paradise, but I actually am one of the people that thought too much of that stuff was stripped out, and I want the old stuff back. And I think Takedown is better. I would say that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart World are in the same conversation of, boy, what if they had just really doubled down? Like, because the courses in this are big and they're beautiful and they're really fun.
There are things, again, like the rainbow road sequence in this game is
really good.
An all-time Nintendo. It's like awesome. Straight up, it is an all-time Nintendo sequence. From the visuals to the music to the way that it is scripted, awesome. It is like, it is beautiful. It is incredible. There are drifts that you do in the DK Spaceport level is awesome. Crazy. The last segment of that track is a straightaway, but you are just playing Donkey Kong. You're from the perspective of Mario, you're going up the fucking girders, you're just doing Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
There are drifts on fucking Whistle Stop Summit that like carve you so nice when you hit that, like when you hit the drift just right, like it feels really, really good.
Yeah. And
then they were like, well, we gotta put an open. It just doesn't. It feels not done, and I think it doesn't feel done. And I am so cynical now with Nintendo specifically in a way that I was not cynical before. But I have no doubt in my mind that if not next year, then the year after, there will be in the expansion pass the rest of this video game.
Yeah.
Where they're like, wow, there's stuff on the map now, and there's a little extra island.
Yep.
And like that, again, what were you doing this whole time?
Yeah. Yeah. For a game that feels like they gave up on it months ago, it feels unfinished. And it's like, I understand how it would look if they had done this right at the start, but it would have been nice if they had said like, hey, by the way, we've got all this post-launch support planned for this game.
Yeah, so roadmap of some kind.
Then what it would do is that, like, yes, it would signal that this game is not totally done, and that is a little bit frustrating, especially at the price point it's at. Like, I get that. But also, it would take the edge off a little bit of the conversation because it's like, okay, they know this game is not completely done. And because this is not completely done, that's a pretty robust package for a game that's not done.
Yeah. Yeah. But and like, I think
that still sucks in a lot of ways, but yeah.
The other thing that makes me go like, and I think it is so hard and basically impossible actually to try to like figure out what this company, like the way that this video game developer thinks, because they don't think like normal people do. Right. Like that. And that's what makes the stuff they make so interesting. Most of the time is because usually when people are going to move right, they go left. And sometimes left is really cool. But like, I know this, I'm like really, really on this idea now, John, that the game's not done and that there was something else, because the idea that the only way that you unlock NPC characters is by being in the first third of the race and then someone behind you or you have to use Kamek, which is you cannot proc yourself. It's just random. Is the most, well, fuck, gang. If you're not going to unlock these characters through action, through explicit gameplay, how are we going to dole these out? Yeah. And someone was like, well, we could just make it completely random. They said, okay, sure. I don't know.
It doesn't feel good.
I say all of this, and I am finding myself playing like 20 to 30 minutes of it at least.
It's
like
fun.
3 or 4 times a week. We played it earlier this week for a little bit.
We played with a group earlier this week, and that was the first time that I had done that. And it, did I say that, maybe I wanted to end my life and someone else's life while I was playing it? Like, maybe I did. Maybe I did say that. Maybe I did get really turned about it in that way that Mario Kart can make me turn. But I did enjoy myself, and that was fun to play with friends. But the part that's fun to play with friends is the racing.
Yes.
The rest of it is just too hard to wrangle to make it fun,
And it's also a bad sign to me that there is stuff in the open world that I am intentionally the game will be here forever, I guess. So if I ever do decide to come back, I'm not if I fail a challenge in this game, this is basically what I mean. If I fail a P-switch challenge, I'm not retrying. Who gives a shit? It'll still be there.
I'm with you so hard. I careened off the edge doing a P-switch thing, and I was like, I'm never going to do that again. Bye.
Yeah.
No. We'll put you back up there if you want to try. I'm good.
It's okay.
I'm good. Don't worry about it.
Good.
I'm all right.
Catch me in literally 2027.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll get high and come back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to do it right now. Same.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think is a very good sign. It's not a good sign. Game's very good.
No. And I mean, it's also kind of crazy that in the open world there aren't if you play Super Mario 3D World, there are those moments where you're playing a multiplayer level, and it's like, oh, this switch here requires 3 people to step on it.
Yes.
And I'm surprised that there aren't just some of those quests multiplayer challenges where it's like, yeah, you're going to go. It's like, and this is they don't want you to. They don't want you to go around.
Which Burnout Paradise had. I think that is maybe actually the most infuriating thing, is that it really does not feel like, and I know this isn't true. I need to be so clear. I understand how people make video games. You play other video games on your way there, but it actually does not feel like they played another one of these before they went and made one.
Yeah. They read about them, but they're like, we don't need to know.
Play them.
We don't need to know. It's fine.
Is a missed opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
Because this genre is a genre that I love. I love the idea of an open world racing game. It is something that video games are so uniquely suited to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of introducing an audience that will eat whatever slop you put in front of them to a good one of them is so enticing to have seen that opportunity and gone, I don't know, when would Burnout Paradise come out? 2007, 2008, I think 2006 is when that video game came out, and say, there's nothing in there for us.
Yep. Sorry.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Gah.
Yeah. I mean, they had a lot of really good games to look at and riff on. I mean, maybe they feel like they're not, it's like, hey, listen, we're the ones that get riffed on. We did Breath of the Wild, and now every game has fucking climbing in it. I'm like, yeah, I can see how they would feel that way. But guess what? Y'all are making this thing that has established genre footprints that really work. And if you had Nintendo-fied a lot of them, that would have been really special. Instead, it's just...
Yeah, they made something that is new for them, but not new to anybody else, which is usually the opposite of how it goes.
Right.
Or... if they make something new, it is new for every, you know what I mean?
But then again, there is a non-significant amount of that player base that probably didn't play Burnout Paradise, didn't play Forza Horizon.
Sure, so but then why are you but then why are you putting in all this horseshit?
I know.
Tech, right? Yes, completely, and I understand, but then also if you are simultaneous, it just feels poorly directed. If you are simultaneously saying, we want you to play this video game so much that you are hop, skipping, and jumping across the map in ways that you did not think possible,
Mm-hmm.
Why are you rewarding those people with that who have that dedication by saying, actually, you do have to play the part of the game that you don't like?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, gang.
Mm-hmm. Goofy.
Ill advised. Anyway,
Ill
Donkey Kong
advised.
Bonanza comes out in 3 weeks.
Oh, I'm excited about that. I am excited about that. Thanks, Nintendo. Num, 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 num. Another game that has come out in recent about 10 days ago is called Peak. It is made by Aggro Crab and Landfall. Landfall, of course, has made Content Warning, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, Cluster Truck, all of that stuff. And of course, Aggro Crab made the pretty good Another Crab's Treasure. And that
Going Under, which I like a lot.
Going Under, also good. However, Peak has sold 2 million copies in the first 10 days of release.
This is huge.
I have played the offline version of this game. We have not played it together yet, but I have played offline. And boy, great idea. Great execution.
It's so delightful to me. I'm sure that after Content Warning, Landfall was like, we can never, we fucked up so bad. We let this game out for free.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. What were we thinking? Mm-hmm. So they said, well, what if it's $5? Great job.
Yeah. Great job. Really good job. Really
Some
good job.
money is better than no money.
Some money better than no money, because now you've made, because Content Warning, like, you know, it had like 2 million players after like a couple months or something. Like it was like I remember it being pretty like fast, but I like, this game has completely taken over my TikTok algorithm, like in a day, like a day after release. It is one of the funniest games. Obviously, proximity chat, one of those things that is like not kind of old news at this point. But again, games that effectively use it are so fucking funny. Yeah. Just the clips of this game are so funny.
It was a game jam game, like something that, and so the thing that is honestly the thing that I have the most questions about, and maybe there already is an interview and I just haven't seen it. So if this interview exists, please hit me up in the Discord or on Blue Sky. But like, I can't imagine, and it feels like akin to what I'm sure having a super, like a one-hit wonder situation is,
right?
Where it's like you've been putting in the work and have such an incredible body of work that is tight and considered, and you have gone through every single bit of the process to make it exactly the thing that you are wanting. And then 1 month you say, we're going to sit down and just fuck around for a month. And it is the most successful thing you've ever done. I cannot imagine what that feels like. Because I'm sure it is both simultaneously like unbelievably exciting. Like, holy shit, we have made something with deep resonance. And also, I did not work very hard on it.
Yes.
So I'm like super curious to know, if only I worked at a video game website where I could ask someone.
Aggro Crab did post on their official Twitter account, why did the stupid jam game sell more copies than Another Crab's Treasure? I'm going to crash out.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Fucking bet.
Yeah, like I bet.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, but it's like I think while that obviously is like I cannot imagine a better problem to have.
No,
it's just like it's just
2 million people
we
bought
fucked
my video
around
game.
and we made the most successful thing we've ever made. And it's just really funny. It's joyful. It's just one of those games where you can't play with randos. You do have to go match up with people in Steam, which I think is pretty smart. And it's a lot of fun. So we definitely want to play some of that this weekend, maybe. But the offline mode that I've played and just fucked around with a bit, I was already having a really good time. So it's good. Congrats to them. It's amazing.
Congrats.
Have you been playing anything else, Nikki?
Mario Kart. I'm on chapter 4 of Deltarune now.
Okay.
As per the terms of the agreement, I won't talk about it.
You won't talk about it?
Sure. I don't think so. I was going through my telephone because I broke my phone screen so I got another telephone. Also, when I dropped the phone, the camera broke also, so it just was like I couldn't just like take it to a man to get the new screen. I just had to get another fucking phone.
New phone.
But then I did start to look at like Apple will rent you the equipment to replace the stuff. So you pay that rent, you pay them $49, and then they'll ship you like 4 enormous cases. Like I watched a YouTube video of it, like 4 enormous cases with the same shit that they use if you take your phone to the Apple store to take the screen off and put the screen back on. But they'll let you do it for the privilege of paying them $49. And then you have to, they put a hold on your account for however much the equipment is worth. And if you can believe it, John, Apple Computer does not tell you how much that hold would be. Anyway, all of this is to say, I was looking at applications on my phone to try to figure out which ones I needed and which ones I did not need. And I had a bunch of games on my phone that I would never play. But the only 2 that survived the culling are Pokemon TCG Pocket and Puzzmo. But then this is not a game. But then I learned about this app called Exclamation Point Camera. And it's a camera app by a team called Not Boring. And they have a weather app and a calendar app and a calculator app. It's like their idea is they want you to replace your default suite with their things. And I mean, I guess if you're listening to the podcast and you have an iPhone, just type exclamation point camera in and then look at the screenshots. If you are on the video version, I am now going to show you what it looks like. But this is like what the camera app looks like. It's goofy as hell. So it's like
it looks like a Fisher Price.
It is the most Fisher Price coded thing. So the leftmost knob lets you change the LUT, which is basically like what the way that the camera interacts with the light. There is a big switch over here in the top right for flash. There's another knob up here, which is like your exposure I keep turning the phone around to look at it myself, but there's an exposure compensation thing over here. The shutter button is big and cute. You can change which lens you're using on the camera, and that's fun. And it shoots the pictures in RAW, which is nice, because I hate the way that that Apple does the processing on this. Are on the iPhone, and that's why the pictures look so bad. But then, John, I was like, okay, well, I've had a nice time fucking around in your application, Not Boring company. What if can I please perhaps give you some dollars to have the app?
Well, walking around money.
Warren. If you had to guess, how much money the subscription, which is the premium version of Weather Habits, which is it's just a reminder app. Habits, camera, timer, calculator, and Vibes. Vibes seems to be like I'm almost definitely sure it's an AI music generation app, which is like what a lot of companies are doing. Like this,
they are.
There's a rise in computer generated ambient music, which is a fucking bummer as a person who likes ambient music a lot, because now I'm on Apple Music and YouTube, and I'm listening to something and
you're not sure.
I'm not sure if a person made this, and most of the time, if I'm asking that question, the answer is no, a person has not made it. 1 year of those apps, how much? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
all together.
6, yes.
$99.99.
It's $50 a year.
That's still crazy. That's still pretty crazy.
Or $8 a month.
Okay.
If you want to if you just want to buy the camera app, John Warren, how much does it cost?
That's $20.
$59.99.
Okay. All right.
$59.99.
That's a lot.
If you want to do it just for a year, it's $15.
Jesus Christ.
We have lost the fucking plot.
Yeah, we've lost the plot.
I understand it's a good looking camera app. Thank you. Good job. I am not paying you. I go to Goodwill and buy a digicam amounts of money for an application on my phone. Anyway, I'm getting off of my soapbox. Fucking stupid. I was pissed off.
Yeah, I'm looking at the weather app now. I mean, it is nice, but boy,
it's nice, but it's not like you're not going to pay $60 for a weather app when your phone comes with one. But then the conversation in the space is nobody's spending money on apps. Yeah, dog. I've figured out why. You either have to pay for a subscription that you will forget about, which feels predatory, or I give you 60 American dollars for your app. No. Like I literally already have a camera. It's so silly. That app is for people who own cameras and are mad at the fact that the phone camera sucks so bad. And then the idea that they would be like, well, the person it's crazy. The thing I'm about to say, I understand is crazy. The person who spent $1,500 on a real camera is also not the person to spend $60 on an app. There's two different people.
Yep. Yeah. No,
I don't understand I don't get how you price your things so wrong.
Yeah. Because that weather app is actually, like, the weather app is gorgeous. It's really interesting looking,
delightful.
But it's like, hey, you want to give us $14 a month? I'm like, no.
For the weather?
For the weather? No.
Because eventually, I know the weather app is a tough one. I used Carrot for a while. Do you know about Carrot?
Yeah.
Carrot's the one, if you don't know, Carrot is another, like, what if the weather app was good? And I need to be so clear. The weather app used to be bad, but when Apple bought Dark Sky, the weather app is just good now.
It's fine.
Like you used to be buying access when you were using a different weather app than the normal weather app. You were buying access to a different data set because the data set that Apple was using was the Weather Channel, and it was fucking terrible. Like, it just wasn't good. There was this other website called darksky.io, which was incredible. Like, fucking incredible. The first time I downloaded that app, I was living in New York at the time, and I downloaded the app, and then they were like, it's going to rain in 8 minutes.
Yep.
And then I looked at the clock, and then 8 minutes later, it fucking rained. I was like, oh, holy shit.
The fuck?
We have,
that's super
this
accurate.
Is what the computer is for, right? Like, if nothing else, the computer is for this. Apple just bought them, so the weather app is good now. So the data in there is good. But at a certain point, I don't open the weather app. I'm just waiting for the notification that's going to say it's going to rain in like 10 minutes. Or I'm looking at the widget I have on my home screen, what tells me what the temperature is.
Yeah.
So the idea of spending 60 American dollars.
It's a lot.
Like, we've strayed so far.
We have.
From Steve Jobs's pancreatic light.
The light shining from Steve's pancreas. No. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I'm going to look at the other apps.
Anything?
If you want to find them online, those apps, you need to search for Not Boring, because the exclamation
Not
point
Boring
does
is
not
the name of
get
the
you
company.
there.
Yeah.
Have I been playing anything? I mean, I still am playing Cyberpunk. I did most of the Evelyn Parker missions, which are tough.
Who?
So Evelyn Parker is the lady that helps you fix that really early mission with Dexter Deshawn. And she, like, is the one that's sleeping with Yorinobu.
Here's the thing. Most of the quests...
here's a lot of, like, here's the thing I'll say about Cyberpunk. That is, I think, both a good thing and a bad thing, is that it's going to take you on a journey, and you're going to really care about some characters. And sometimes that shit doesn't end well.
Yeah.
And that do be how life is sometimes. And that's sad. It's kind of relentless in this game. There's a lot of that going on. And so it's like, it's hard. I will say that the Evelyn Parker stuff I not done before. And that is, and spoilers, and also just kind of like content warning, like, that's a thing that takes you down a path of, like, all right, like, sex workers in this world basically have this thing that essentially, like, it tunes directly into the fetishes and tendencies of their clients. And so they kind of like zap in and out of these perfectly tuned personas for their clients. And then they basically don't remember anything that happened.
Yeah.
But it creates like unbelievably dangerous situations for them within this world. And you're basically on a mission to rescue one of them from a string of essentially pimps that are basically just like in ownership of this person.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a well-written but harrowing fucking thing.
Yeah.
It is harrowing. And so I did most of those quests, and like I'm kind of near the end of it, and I know it's not going to end well. And like
I just remembered by reading, and and
it's tough. Like it's tough because the thing that game does pretty well is it introduces you to characters, and you go, all right, like you're really one-dimensional or whatever. And then like, you know, over time, you're like, oh, they're not so one-dimensional, which is, you know, kind of how life works in a lot of ways of like people come in and out of your life and you don't know them that well. And you don't necessarily have this immediate, incredible first impression of something, but you do kind of, there is a sense, even though I think the writing of this game is pretty uneven, there is a real fluidity with like how you get to know the characters in these games. And like, there is this kind of organic way to navigate your relationships that build. And, you know, this relationship with Evelyn Parker, who kind of a classic trope of like woman in trouble in like a noir movie.
Yeah.
That is enticing to me because I like old noir movies, but then it goes in this other direction that is just like a lot more harrowing than I think I expected it to be. And so it's tough. I still think that game is, it's actually pretty good. It's unbelievably fundamentally better than it was when we first played it. It is better. I know that some of the writing and stuff is still a little bit uneven, but I do think that game is pretty good.
Listen, another 2 weeks and you might get me.
I know. Me. I might.
I did immediately though think about the mission where that guy gets cruised and they're like, you want to watch him get cruised?
Right.
So
yeah, it's a tough game. It's tough. There's stuff in it that like it goes so edgelordy that is, you know, almost cartoonish, but also tough. Tough to like deal with.
I think the one thing I will say about that game from, again, it's been 30 years, I think, since I played
30 years.
The one thing that was honestly the most frustrating is because I did almost all of the stuff there was to do, and I really blocked it out because I didn't think much of it was very good. But I think because there was so much of the stuff in that game that I identified as feeling not very good, I did push out some of the stuff that perhaps was. But I really did feel like they made you spend a lot of time with people who were irredeemable. And also, I don't think that the character of V is particularly interesting.
No.
And I don't actually think Johnny Silverhand is particularly interesting either.
No.
So like the main guys that you have to interact with in the video game
are not
through
that
which
great.
Right, like through which the story is told really deeply turned me off.
Yeah.
So
and it's interesting because they do kind of wear that on its sleeve. They like in the opening like montage of the game, there's like a voiceover that's basically like, yep, like Night City full of pieces of shit, and like they're just everywhere and they're the ones that get ahead. And it's like, you know, I think in your heart maybe you're like, yeah, but that's not going to be me. And it's like, no, it's like it's you. It's everyone.
Yeah, it's you. Yeah.
And like, you know, like the only guy that seemed redeemable to any extent, spoilers, like dies in the first like 5 hours of the game. So, you know, it's one of those things where, I don't particularly feel close to V. Part of that is, and I'm sorry, but like probably both male and female versions of it are
real bad.
One of the worst voice acting performances
real bad
I think I've ever heard. Just super, super bad. Keanu Reeves, bless his heart, collected a fucking paycheck on this thing. Good for him for showing up and doing the whole like, oh, I love you, like whatever. That's great, good for him, but like phones that the fuck in. There is a lot of stuff that is goofy about this game that will continue to be goofy until the sun burns out, because they're not going to basically re-record the lines.
Yeah, no,
if they went in and killed V like they did fucking Peter Dinklage's Ghost in Destiny, and like redid it with Ben Starr or whatever, okay, like then I would be interested in that. But the performances are not very good. So it's there's rough edges to this game, but I am enjoying it. So and besides that, like Peak, I played Street Fighter 6 on Switch 2, which runs pretty well. Even wirelessly online, I played a few matches that ran really well. I got some of those season 2 characters like Elena and Terry Bogard and Mai, and that game is still really a lot of fun. So if you, for some reason, have not played Street Fighter 6 and you have a Switch 2, that is like a pretty good way to do it. Doesn't run as well, doesn't run as smoothly as PS5 or PC, but it is still really impressive that they got that on Switch 2.
You seen the some of the more of the cast for this flick come out?
What flick?
Street Fighter.
Did you see it? I did, but let's talk about it. I haven't seen all of it, I don't think.
Okay, well, 50 Cent is
Balrog. I saw that.
From Street Fighter. Mm-hmm. Jason Momoa is Blanca from Street Fighter.
I saw that. I don't understand that one, but okay.
Noah Centineo from To All the Boys, the Netflix movie.
Oh, that's what. Okay. Mm-hmm.
He's Ken. Orville Peck, the musician.
This is my favorite one. Yes.
Inspired casting here. Vega.
Now, a few crucial things. Are they going to make Orville Peck, a Canadian country western star, do a Spanish accent? Are they going to make him do that? Also, what happened there? Did someone just see a music video and goes, he's wearing a mask already?
He's like Vega.
Let's get Vega.
He's a lot like Vega to
me. That's Vega.
The Hollywood Reporter has this man listed as Joe Anoa'i,
who is
AKA WWE superstar Roman Reigns.
Nope.
Reign singular is what they have Roman here on THR.
Good job.
He's a warrior. And then wait, huh? No, he's Akuma.
He's Akuma.
Wait, what? Yes. Why they wrote this paragraph so crazy, John?
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
They wrote this paragraph so crazy. And then someone named Kalina Liang from something called Presence is Chun-Li.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that'll be fun.
It's very like 50 Cent. Oh, you know what? Okay, wait. Whoa, hold on. Who plays Bison and Sagat if we're getting Orville Peck and 50 Cent? So what other musicians are we getting to fill
that's a good question.
Sagat, and like who's a tall musician? I'm trying to think of like tallest.
Let's type it in the computer. Tall
musicians. Pete Steele of Type O Negative is 6'8".
Mick Fleetwood.
Mick Fleetwood. I mean, it's maybe a little old. Chris Novoselic, who is the bassist for Nirvana.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, pretty tall.
5'11".
Pretty tall. That's true. Win Butler from Arcade Fire. He's 6'5". Who is it?
Adam Levine. Okay, fine. You
don't want Adam Tiger Levine. Uppercut is Tiger.
Okay, what about Morrissey?
I don't think we can put Morrissey in a.
Fine. Harry Styles.
How tall is Harry Styles?
6 foot, according to
well, that's not that tall.
What website am I on? theshot.com. Justin. Oh, we could get Johnny Cash. He's 6'2". Brian Wilson. He's also 6'2".
Oh, I knew
Shawn Mendes.
Shawn Mendes. I knew that could be it. I knew when I was talking about Pete Steele from Typo Negative, I was like, wait, hold on a second. That guy died a long time ago, and he died 15 years ago, so it can't be
Wiz
him.
Khalifa is 6'4".
Wiz Khalifa.
Okay, so who knows?
Who's
gonna be, man? They wouldn't do it, but Samoa Joe would be such a good M. Bison.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's not the shape that M. Bison is, so they wouldn't do it.
But I think it'd be great if it was the shape of M. Bison.
Well,
so yeah, that's the Street Fighter casting. It'll be Chris Pratt. Oh God,
it just will be.
It just will be. I think you're right. Hey, let's answer some Hive questions. If you go to vgbs.com/join, you can join the Hive. Ask us questions. We answer them every single week on the podcast. Soy Socks asks, you've been chosen as the ambassador for cultural exchange with the peaceful alien race. What human art, games, or otherwise would you show them?
How smart are they?
I have a real answer and I have a funny answer. And actually, the more I think about it, I think they're probably the same. And it's just the first 3 seasons of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I think.
But they'd walk away with such like a vile
whatever. They'd be entertained. They'd be like,
would they? I feel like you need so much context.
You need a lot of context. I guess that's true.
I think the reality thing they giving them like Top Chef or like Master Chef, like a cooking, or like Iron Chef, that's fun, right? Mm-hmm. Because then you're like, this is what we do to our food. We love food so much, we fight about it.
Yeah, we fight about it. It's almost this kind of worshipful dance.
We create arena for conflict about it. We fight over it. That's fun.
That's fun. Yeah, that's fun. Ooh, I've got the hiccups real bad.
Probably I would show them John's gonna fucking die. There he goes, Hiccup Town. Now it's my podcast. What else would I show him? I feel like I'd have so many more questions about their things. I don't want to like.
I have breaking news.
What?
Super Mario Strikers on GameCube is coming to the expansion pack next week.
So I don't really know what I would show them. I'm just like trying to think.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's hard. I think like there are probably movies I would show them.
My thing about it has to be
context. You need a lot of context
that does not rely on any context. Like you have to imagine that you're going to show it to a person who has just been born, but they were born at the age of 35.
What about Pac-Man? I'd probably show him Pac-Man. It's simple. Guy eat pellets, ghost try to kill him. That's a pretty easy thing to read.
But would you give him that Pac-Man? Would you give him Pac-Man 1 or would you give him
give him Miss Pac-Man? Or like or like championship edition
or championship?
Yeah. I don't know. Does it really matter? Are you really getting
kind of?
Okay.
I think it matters.
Okay.
Because then I think
championship edition is really good.
Yeah, I just think if you show them Pac-Man 1, then they're gonna think we're fucking stupid. Because it's like, this is all you have. This is what you have. It's just square and circle. And it's like, no, for sure. We do only have square and circle, but like, look how pretty the square and circle is. Like we have Tetris Effect, pretty good. Don't need to know anything about anything for that.
That's pretty good. That's a good one. Tetris Effect.
Put the VR headset on their heads. They have eyes, probably. You know, play Tetris Effect.
You know, putting shapes in a place. I think that's probably pretty universal. Easy. Yeah.
Yeah. Straight line, make it go away. Tetris Effect. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's.
Should we show them any art?
I think we should show them the Bosch stuff. You know, where like there's like a trumpet player in hell and like a demon with like music on his ass and stuff. I think that's pretty good.
I like the idea of showing them the Sistine Chapel and being like, a guy did this.
A guy
did this, and also the roof was as high as it is right now when he did it.
Yeah.
Because that's goofy.
It's incredible that he didn't just fall off that scaffolding
and die. Yeah.
Like unbelievable that didn't happen. Like, just thinking about that, it's fucking impossible. I mean,
would they have? I'm just like, I love the idea because, oh man, what stage of the painting of the Sistine Chapel is it the funniest if you fell off of the scaffolding? In is it 50%?
Yeah, 50% is pretty funny. Yeah.
Do we know if he worked on it linearly?
I don't know.
Probably not, right? He probably like jumped around. Like if you were to look at the time lapse of the painting of the Sistine Chapel, I'm sure he bipped and bopped around a little bit. I don't think he painted it from one end to the other. What's the computer say?
Frescoes. Huh.
Oh, I would show him a can of Fresca.
Show him a can of Fresca. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Nah, I would hit him with a Mexican Coke. That would probably be cool. They might die.
Yeah.
But like,
too much. Yeah.
But I hit him with a Mexican Coke. That might be nice.
So there are some frescoes that were not made by Michelangelo, but Michelangelo started in 1508 to do the vaults / ceiling, and that work was completed over 4 years, 1508 to 1512, and then he did the Last Judgment over the altar many years later, 1535 to 1541.
Well, I would show them this Sistine Chapel, and then they'd be like,
and they built for him a scaffold. Donato Bramante, who was an architect, wanted to build him a scaffold to be suspended with ropes, but Bramante did not successfully complete the task, and the structure he built was flawed. He had perforated the vault in order to lower strings to secure the scaffold. Michelangelo laughed when he saw the structure and believed it would leave holes in the ceiling, which the work had ended. He asked Bramante what was to happen to when the painter reached the perforations, but the architect had no answer. Like, can I just say, I unironically adore the fact that product management problems have persisted for this long. I'm just like Michelangelo's like, I needed to get to the ceiling, and it's like, I got you, bro. I got you. What you gonna do up there? Paint? I don't know how painting works. Sure, let's just drill holes in the ceiling, and like no one will notice, right? But the Bramante, how will I paint around the holes? I don't know, dog. You just asked me for something to suspend you from the air from. What do you want me to do? Everything? Stupid. So Michelangelo created he looped Bramante in. Bramante fucked it up. He went to the Pope and was like, "Hey, Pope, I need a scaffold." And the Pope literally goes, "Build it yourself, Michelangelo." And he did. That's fucking awesome. God, I wish I knew more about this shit. I need to read about it. Hey, folks, give me your recommendations for books about Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel, because it sounds fucking funny, to be honest.
That rules.
God, there's probably a really killer movie in there somewhere made by the people that did Veep or The Death of Stalin.
That would rule. That would bang.
Just like, the fucking, yeah, that'd be crazy. But yeah, anyway, I'd show him the Sistine Chapel. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I don't know. I've never seen it, but it seems nice. And that's it, I think. I think they'd walk away.
I think they'd walk away pretty satisfied. Satisfecho. Listen, Bone Chug Actual asks, what's the best game series that you think you would actually enjoy, but you've never played? I think I would. I'm
looking at, I'm going to type in video game series.
I think I would probably like Disgaea because you get into like some real sicko numbers stuff. But I've never played them because they seem impenetrable to me for some reason.
I think I would like Castlevania.
Okay, that's a pretty good one. Mm-hmm.
I haven't played one of those ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Castlevania is pretty good. Symphony of the Night is really good. I think if you are wanting something that feels like it's got like a sense of progression in it.
God bless you.
Wow, couldn't mute myself fast enough on that one.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
folks.
Can't win them all.
I think if you want one with a sense of exploration and progression, you can skip everyone before Symphony of the Night. I think, but there's some good older ones too. Good question. Thanks, Bone Chug. Del Focus asks, eggs gotta change. What are you changing about eggs?
Color. That's easy.
So, okay. So the natural, like the insides of the eggs? Both inside and outside.
Yeah. And it's just random.
It's random. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like they are, to be so clear, I know that they come different.
Right.
I know that there's different color egg and the inside can be vaguely on a spectrum of yellow to like orange. But I'm saying egg come out purple, yolk orange,
yeah.
Egg come out pink, yolk
green,
same color as the white, clear. Confusing, ain't it?
It's not. Yeah,
it's not.
It's not. It's not.
So that's my idea.
I think I would put a little pin on eggs that like when you pull it, you're boiling it, and so you can just like you can crack them open and make them however you want. But really, I just want to like pull a pin and like turn some of them into boiled eggs like immediately.
That's good. Yeah.
So I think that'd be good. I like the color one though too. During a recent, this is from Destructonaut. Thanks, Randy. During a recent If You're Driving episode, John mentioned Bayou Billy. I had a Bayou Billy Tiger electronic handheld when I was a kid. Did you have any Tiger electronic memories? I realized Nikki wasn't born when these were going to be when these were a going concern. Do you know what this is?
So, I think Tiger Electronics made the Pokédex that I had when I was a child.
Oh, interesting.
And I think I had like a PDA or something that was the equivalent of it for the card game Duel Masters, which was a Yu-Gi-Oh competitor. I think they also might have made that.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure that out if that's true. But I did not play any of the real Tiger Electronics games.
Yeah. I had a Street Fighter one. I think I had a Mega Man one. I think I had a Double Dragon one. So I had a few Tiger Electronics games. It was so weird. Like being a kid ruled because I feel like you could still actively be playing or doing something that you know you don't really like that much, but you're still like, I'm a kid. I've got no responsibilities. This is fun enough. Who cares?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt about Tiger Electronics. Good question.
Yeah, I did. The Duel Masters Dex was Tiger Electronics.
Amazing.
So I had that, and then the red classic Pokédex.
Amazing. Blackjack Attack asks, you're being added as a summon support in a fighting game. What do you do to help or hinder the player?
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, I can hinder them?
Question. Yeah, you can hinder the opponent, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So Sub-Zero asks you to come in. What do you do?
I'm probably just asking whoever Sub-Zero is fighting like something completely asinine.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think gasoline tastes like?
Yeah.
Like in the middle, just in the middle of the conflict. Okay, that's probably going to stun them enough that Sub-Zero is going to be able to cut their dick off or whatever he does.
I've got a pretty similar answer, which is I just start giving them anxiety. Where I'm like, oh man, yeah, that looks like that shiner's rough. I would have that looked at pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because like you don't want it to swell so bad that you can go blind. Hey, have you had that mark on your back checked? like stuff like that. Oh, just like you got your shirt off, you're fighting, you're glistening in the sun. I was like, I don't know. Wow. That looks a little misshapen. Maybe have a derm just look at it. Has it always been there?
Has it always been there?
Has it changed?
Can I feel it really?
Is it raised?
I just want to feel it really fast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think
stuff like that.
Because there's one here, and then there's also one. I think, is this one also? Did you shower this morning? Have you switched? No, I think that's a good route. That's a good route to take.
Yeah. Hey, I think you missed some spots on your back with your sunscreen. Did you not have someone help you with this? Even just a few hours of exposure can really open you up to some stuff. Just to get a like, shut right the fuck up, and then they just like they get their shit kicked in. You just need to get them to pay attention to you once, and then it's over.
That's all it takes.
So that's a good question. All right, Cam asks, "Fuck, marry, kill the ROG Xbox Ally X, the PSP Go, or the Nintendo 2DS XL?"
Kill the Xbox One. Marry the 2DS. Fuck the PSP Go.
That's exactly my answer. Great answer.
I think that's the move. Now listen, in this, could you in theory play more video games on the Xbox thing?
Sure.
Yes.
But then you're buying into the whole bullshit, man.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
That's how they get you. Jason asks, would you call something like Wordle a video game? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But again,
I wouldn't be upset if you didn't. But
yeah, no, I mean, like, is the crossword a video game because you can do it on your phone
digitally?
Like,
yeah.
No, like yes and no, like
yes and no.
It's a word game. Like our word search is video games.
The real answer is completely contextual. Like if someone that made a digital version of Wordle showed up at a video game thing, I would not go, get the fuck out of here. You don't belong here. I wouldn't do that. But it would be, I think the crossword example is good of like, I'm a game designer and some of it's digital. I'm not making like a video game.
Yeah. Wordle, I think Wordle is a video game because you can't do it not on the computer.
Yeah.
But Wordle is not possible unless you are doing it digitally, which makes it a video game. But also you get Puzzmo for free at the library.
Papa Bear Zach asking, maybe my favorite question of the week. How do I get my beautiful, lovely wife to stop playing Monopoly Go?
Oh man, that's really tough. Does she know about other video games or not?
What is she like about? I wish we had more context here. I should have asked. But so what is she like? You can tell us the answers to these questions, and then we can answer them next time. But like, what is she like about it? What is she? When does she play it? Is she ashamed of her play habits, or is she just like, does she want to? Yeah, like these are all good questions because I don't want to yuck her yum if she's like, I just really like Monopoly Go. This is my speed. It's great.
Yeah. Is she?
But if you feel like she's like
money on it,
yeah, I think that was my next question.
Those are the real questions. Because if the answer is no, yeah, who cares? Probably fine.
Yeah.
But if she's spending money on it, get her a 2DS.
Get her a 2DS. Yeah, I think that makes sense. What kind of Jason also asking, what kind of car would Solid Snake drive?
Car? I don't know what. I think he would have a lot of ideas about how many computers are in cars now.
Okay.
So like I think he drives like a 90s like Ford F-150.
Okay.
And it is kind of falling apart. And like so many people all the time are like, did you know cars have air conditioning now? Because he does get out of the car and Ocelot is like, dude, you're sweating so fucking much. He's like, what are you? Because Snake's been driving around Afghanistan with the windows up, no vent, no AC.
Yeah. And
he's lost 10 pounds in the 3 hours he's been in the car. And also, they make cars with AC, and he's, I don't want it. I don't want it. That's my Snake. I don't want it. Is that good? Was that good?
The banquet beer. Yeah, your Snake and your ESPN guy are pretty much the same person.
Ocelot. Ocelot, this shit's crazy. The guy, listen, he told me to unplug my controller and plug it into the second port. I don't even know what that means.
You saw my memory cards. I have a lot of porn on my memory cards.
He said I was playing too much Ape Escape.
Yeah. No, I could see an old F-150 with no air conditioning. I can totally see that. What about Ben Bridges or whatever the fuck this Death Stranding man his name is?
He doesn't like cars.
Leon Bridges. Leon Bridges. What kind of cars Leon Bridges drive?
Leon Bridges drives like a Cadillac SUV.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Come on the show, Leon.
But like not even.
You live like 20 minutes from my house. Come on the show.
Really? Come on,
Leon Bridges.
On the program, Leon Bridges.
Yeah.
There's a new Cadillac. Welcome to Car Talk with John and Nikki. There's a new Cadillac that costs, I think the base is $250,000, but it's called the Celestique. And it's like a Cadillac of yore, John, where they were just fucking boats, and it just kind of goes on for forever. Which I normally would hate. To be so clear, I don't think cars should be any bigger than a Mini Cooper ever. But in this specific scenario, kind of bangs. Like it does kind of bang. Like the idea that they were like, listen, they literally don't make them like they used to. What if the car was 13 feet long?
What's it called again?
Celestique it's Celeste IQ.
Got it. Yep. God damn, what a fucking beefy boy. So if you just legitimately, if you have played Cyberpunk 2077, this looks like a Delamain.
It does. Yeah.
Taxi cab. Like exactly. Just so it is just huge. It's humongous.
2 feet.
Oh, I would get one of these cars.
It is 18 feet long, this car.
I would get one of these in a fucking heartbeat.
No, they look sick as hell.
They look sick. They look so
sick as hell. It does cost
a lot of money.
340,000 American dollars.
Whoa.
The Car and Driver gave it a 9.5 out of 10.
Whoa, that's expensive. Holy shit.
Yeah. And you can't just like go buy one. Obviously, you have to design $340,000. Yeah, but you have to
design
you get a
concierge.
Guy.
Yeah, you get
like a guy comes to your house and you pick what color stitching you want in the seats.
Oh.
John, we just need to raise.
We just need to raise. Folks,
let's just call it a cool $500,000. Because we're gonna want options. I love the idea that this isn't how it works, but I love the idea that at $340,000 you don't get power windows.
That's unbelievable.
I love the idea that you would get in the car and they're like, it's got crank windows unless you give us some more cash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. God, that's crazy. There are a lot of touchscreens in this. I don't like.
Yeah, it's got a 55-inch screen along the. It's just that's just one screen.
Yeah.
Where it's 55 inches across. God,
that's crazy. This is a cool car, I have to say.
It's a cool car.
I have to say this is pretty cool.
Cheaper than a Rolls-Royce Phantom. So you're actually losing money by not buying one.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good point.
Doesn't your car seem cheap now, John?
It does.
If you think about it this way,
you
could buy a handful of your car or one of these.
Mm-hmm. I could have a small fleet of Toyota Siennas or one of these.
One of these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's amazing.
It can only go 300 miles. It's 18 feet long.
See, that would drive me fucking crazy.
Now that's crazy.
Would drive me fucking crazy. That's my thing that's my beef with EV.
Well, you can charge. You can get 80 miles in 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I think that's where the fuck are you going? You know?
Yeah. Where are you going?
Yeah. Where are you going?
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, Cadillac.
80.
We're pivoting to auto reviews.
Oh yeah, send us one.
Just send us one.
Send us two. Send us two.
Just send us two. We'll just drive around for a week.
We'll drive around for a week.
Just send it back.
I have a sterling driving record. Don't listen to any of the other episodes of the show.
Do not ask State Farm.
Just don't ask State Farm.
What has happened recently.
Don't look up police reports with my name on it. It's fine.
Okay, listen. Your car accident was horrible.
Yes.
At least it was your car. Can you imagine if you were reviewing a car and Toyota sent it to you and then that happened to you? It can always be worse.
It could always be worse.
You could be an auto reviewer who totaled Subaru's car, you know?
Oh God, that'd be so fucking funny.
Do you get another one? Is it like the Bethesda Kotaku thing where they just pretended that you weren't alive for a long time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do they pick a different person at the publication? Can you imagine? I'm the lead reviewer on Fords at Car and Driver, and Ford won't send me Fords anymore because I flipped a Bronco in the parking lot at the mall.
We'll send one to your boss, but we better not catch word of your boss letting you drive this around. This is now someone else's job. That'd be so incredible. Tough. Yeah. I wonder how that works from an insurance perspective. And God, that must be a nightmare.
Yeah, the cars, I mean, it's probably it's double insurance, no? You have insurance as Car and Drive, triple insurance. You have your own car insurance that is your.
They have
yourself.
It, and
the business has it, and they wreck the
You're
Bronco.
Probably fine.
Who cares?
Flip it.
Who gives a shit?
That should be part of the test. Get into a bad wreck with it, see what happens. We're big safety people here. That's how I'd spin it. Listen, we're big safety people here. Do all the airbags work? We're gonna find out in a second. We're gonna
find out. We have people. We have people for it. You're already driving into the tree.
Okay, you're good.
All right.
No, we got another test for you. It's good. we'll do a human experiment. Enough of these dummies.
No, listen. They can't. They don't feel pain.
They don't feel pain. It's true. Folks, let's get out of here. This is a fun one. Ask us questions every single week. A couple left over here may hit you with the bonus to answer some of those. VGBs.com/join. Next week, we're going to have one Garrett Martin on the show from Paste Magazine. So please stay tuned for that. We're going to start having a string of guests once again this summer. And then Nikki and I will be together in Arlington, Texas for All In. I should have my car by then also, which is very exciting. And we're going to be eating barbecue and watching wrestling and hanging out. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, stay tuned next week. Nikki, makeyouthink.club. That's their newsletter. Please go subscribe to that. It's very, very, very good. Anything else you want to plug? So forlorn. A lot to consider.
No, we can't. Hold on.
Okay, there's a lot. There's something I've got to vamp. So I'm gonna vamp until we know. My Hero Zero asks, what's the most 7 out of 10 game is the most 7 out of 10 game? We'll do a cleanup, and I will say, off the top of my head, I think the answer to that is actually Final Fantasy 13. I think that game is very 7 out of 10. It's fine. No, what's up? What's up? What happened? Uh-oh.
How
what
do
happened?
I send this to you?
I don't know.
I put it in the studio in private.
Okay,
the private chat in here.
Okay. Yeah. You can't send this to me right before. You can't. Oh my God. No.
So this, wow. I need to be so clear. This is not a real product that they're doing. This is it's a joke. This is what the kids call viral marketing. It has to be. There's a handful of creators who are on TikTok who have posted videos in the style of this one, which is a man making a sandwich, except he goes into the refrigerator and pulls out a package of Duke's mayonnaise slices.
I'm gonna fucking yarts. I'm gonna yarts. It Nikki, to your point, it is crucially and very clearly a viral marketing campaign.
Yes. To be so clear.
It is like very, very clearly that's what it is, because
I don't want any. I just don't want any of us to have like a fucking conniption when you see that. Well, it's going to be so many days after when you've seen this. Don't get got.
Don't get got. It's not real.
It's not real.
Stay woke.
Mm-hmm. And then what does he say? Then what does he say, John?
Stay woke.
Yeah. What do you say after?
Says stay woke. Mayonnaise slices. That's what he says.
Exactly what he says.
That's exactly what he says. And nothing else.
Well, bye.
Enjoy those mayonnaise slices, everyone. We'll see you next week. Until next time, keep on buzzing.